So, yeah, Greg Oden, good luck. What do you think about Riley Cooper, bro? Your boy, white wide receiver, calling black people the N-word. That's probably not cool, right?
Wait, I actually haven't seen that yet.
It happened yesterday
Let's watch
or today.
it.
Go ahead.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, bro.
Hold on.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, bro.
Put on the old Riley Cooper says racial slur, but apparently, I don't know if it was in the locker room or in a personal setting.
Yeah, I seen it here. I haven't watched it. Eagles wide receiver Riley Cooper will fight every N-word here. Let's watch it.
Yeah, put the microphone to the speaker.
He did say nigga.
I didn't even see this before.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, bro.
Hold on.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, bro.
Whoa! All right, we just
That was a hard R.
we see. Yeah. That
That definitely was not nigga. Okay?
That wasn't a soft H. That shit was a hard. Yo.
I like the white girl in the background going.
She's like egging him on and shit to a certain degree. Like, look, I can't believe he said. Maybe he'll say it again. Let's keep recording.
He said.
I like his outfit too. The dude looked like
He looked like
out of a bar,
he looked like
a honky tonk bar.
he looked like he just came out the Redlands and came out like a fucking
Cut
mud
off
race.
sleeves on a fucking flannel jacket, you know, like he came out of Roseanne.
That shit
I'll
sounded
fight
like,
every N-word here. I don't care.
Nah, fuck, don't use that N-word shit. That shit's offensive. The nigga, he said nigger. Like, he said nigger. Like,
Fight every
nigger.
You
Like,
can say it a lot.
He said that
I could probably say it once or twice, but then people would like start looking
no,
at me
but
funny,
he's
too. I'm a minority Cuban B. I can talk shit too, but I'm just
whatever
saying.
the case. We'll talk on that in a little bit. But whatever the case was, he had a lot of hate in his heart.
I'm not gonna lie.
He said he was really mad. Like,
I didn't see the
and
real
I'm
clip
sure
until now.
this shit's gonna be the most awkward moment when he goes back to practice.
He did.
And his teammates see
He
that
did
shit.
See that shit.
Oh, so Riley, that's how you feel, huh?
They had him.
Start off by saying that I'm extremely embarrassed, extremely hurt, and extremely sorry for my actions. I wanted to come up and tell you guys that. I've talked to Mr. Lurie, I've talked to Howie Roseman, I've talked to Coach Kelly, and explained to them the whole situation. And I'm willing to accept any consequences. Once again, I'm extremely sorry. And I'll open it up for any questions y'all have.
Have you talked to your teammates yet?
I have not, but tonight I will.
How difficult is that going to be, discussing this with your teammates and apologizing to them?
It's going to be very difficult for me. I'm going to tell them I'm extremely sorry and tell them exactly what I'm telling you guys. There was a confrontation, and I just handled it extremely poorly.
When you're in a locker room where the majority of your teammates are black, how do you let that word come out of your mouth?
I shouldn't have. I'm disgusted, and I'm sorry. That's not the type of person I am. And I wasn't raised that way. I got a great mom and dad at home, and they're extremely disappointed in me. So.
What did Chip Kelly say to you when you spoke to him?
He said, "Go out and face this, and tell him exactly what you just told me. How sorry you are for what you said."
Did he give you any indication what kind of discipline may come?
Yes, I was fined.
Was the coach there at this event with you or other teammates? And did they know about this prior to today?
I was by myself.
What was going on out there? What happened before to make you react this way?
There was a confrontation with me and one of the security guards, and I'm not going to get into what happened, but I said something that was absolutely disgusting and terrible, and I should not have handled it the way I handled it. It was.
Riley, what do you think your punishment should be?
Well, it was up to Mr. Lurie and Howie and Coach Kelly. They all met and they came to the agreement to fine me.
In these past 2 months, did you know the video was out there? A video was out there?
It was brought to my attention a couple hours ago.
Do you expect it to be disciplined from the league as well?
I'm not sure. I don't know what will happen in that regard.
Had you had too much to drink at the time when it happened? Had you had too much to drink?
I was drinking, but that is no excuse for what I said and what I did. Absolutely not.
Have you used that term before, like at other times?
I don't use that.
They had him. It was like at 2 or 3 in the afternoon on NFL Live, because NFL Network does this shit where they go to like every training camp. So they caught him coming into the facility, and he hadn't seen his team yet. So they're like, "What are you gonna do when you talk to your team?"
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? Like what are you gonna say to your teammate?
He's like, "I'm gonna apologize to them." Like he did the best that he could with like the response, but it's still like you could tell that motherfucker was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna tell these guys. I shouldn't have said that shit."
That shit's crazy. Like if I had a teammate and I seen that and he came into the locker room, it would be awkward.
Look, I don't think it would be awkward, especially in football, because most of these kids come from fucking Texas and like places where racism is rampant. They've been in a sport that racism is part of the sport, for sure.
And not football.
For sure, in football. If you play football in Texas, like you know what's up. Like your coach is probably calling you a nigger. Your fucking your mom is calling you a nigger. Run, nigger, run! Run, nigger, run! Like, that's
but I don't think in the dynamic of a locker room, like your teammates.
Like, hey, man, what the fuck?
Man, let's just be real. The guy's a white guy pissed off at a fucking sport that is dominated by the African American race. You guys beat us, and at football, you're kings. You got us 10-1, and Riley Cooper was at some function. He felt so.
He looked like he was at like a concert or some shit. Like he couldn't get backstage to fucking
like Deshaun. Deshaun Jackson was probably like, "Yo, you're a white piece of shit, and you're gonna get cut." So that nigga was like thinking about it all day.
Wait,
and like
I gotta watch it again.
Is he a good player?
Not really. I mean, he's not horrible, but he's not great. He's like a good possession receiver.
Let's watch it again.
Here we go, one more time.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here.
Jump the fence.
It sounds like it's like.
Hold on.
I will jump that fence and fight every nigger here, Joe.
Man, a lot of hate in his heart. I suggest
I'm just saying his outfit accents it.
I suggest the safety knock his ass cold, knock his ass out cold.
Yeah, give the listeners like the where they can watch it. What's it called?
Free kill shot. Yeah, that was at worldstarhiphop.com. And
What's the video called?
I've learned from our old
Eagles WR Riley Cooper will fight every N-word here. Look it up.
That's a hell of a
but like
title, huh?
from a culture standpoint, it's funny because my homeboy from LA was talking to me about this, and he said like here in Miami, like a lot of Spanish people, they use nigga a lot. They use the word nigga a lot.
I'm guilty.
And it's common. Like you could use it. Like black people won't trip.
Brody is fucking in culture shock because when you come from Ohio and like people use the fucking like when they say nigger.
Oh, they get crazy. I lived in Kansas. Same thing.
When he came down here and everybody used it, Natasha uses it. Fucking Juan uses
it.
Every fucking person in that he's like, oh shit, like everybody shouldn't be saying this. But it's not a big deal when you grow up like how we grew up.
That's what I'm saying.
That goes around saying shit like that. But I tell my white friends all the time, I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like when Jeff is like, nigga this, nigga that, I'm like, yo, you are the whitest motherfucker here. Like You shouldn't throw that word around like that.
It's funny because that's what my homeboy was saying. He was like, yo, when I seen Spanish dudes, he was like, you know, like Cubans and or other Spanish people that are light skinned and they're using the word, like he was like, man, I was in culture shock because in the West Coast, Spanish people don't use that shit. He was like, you could probably get away with it because you're black. You look black. Like, I could get away with it. But, like, he was like, yo, the Mexicans, the essays, he was like, yo, they don't say that shit.
I think it's an East Coast thing.
And that's what I'm saying, because in New York, a fucking white-ass Puerto Rican dude's going to use nigga as much as any motherfucker out in the street. And in Miami and with Cubans and Colombians.
As far as rappers, like, what white rappers use nigga?
Yo, Fat Joe uses nigga in abundance.
That's true.
And Big Pun, fucking.
Terminology use it?
Terminology says nigga.
Yeah, it says
Terminology says Joel OT. Joel OT says nigga.
Is it true that Eminem never said nigga? Is that true?
He said it once,
Wait.
one song.
Has Pitbull said nigga? Oh,
I think so.
I think Pitbull has said nigga. Now you
He
go.
doesn't even get the opportunity to say it anymore. He's just doing covers of fucking songs.
But now,
Trying to be all
but now in
super
the
Latin and
aspect
shit.
that you go to the West Coast, think of any like essays or they don't say nigga. They don't.
They don't, absolutely not.
They don't. Spanish people don't say nigga. Maybe
But
if you're
on Pitbull's fashion sense, I love that Cuban shit that he's bringing back, yo. That like 1950s fucking Ricky Ricardo look.
What
I'm
the
about it,
fuck?
yo. Like if I was like a fucking famous Spanish dude, I'd dress like that. Like if my whole shtick was being
'Cause you're a
super
jerk.
sticky, I like that shit. I like his fucking like his pants.
His
up to
wardrobe.
his pants up to like his navel. Fucking like the shirt tucked in, the belt loop on the side. I like
and
that shit.
the chest hair showing and all that shit.
Well,
The one
he
thing
doesn't
is-
look like that. I'm saying he looks like Ricky Ricardo, like the old school shit. I like it.
People don't grow up like we do either, cause like not everybody gets to New York, Miami,
I
California.
think it's
type.
an East Coast
deal.
thing amongst us, and I don't
'Cause
think
you're
like
saying-
when I say nigga and I say nigga with my black friend, they're not gonna get offended. You dare not get offended. Like you better not get offended.
I think
Fuck,
Hispanic
Mike.
people get passes anyway because like in general
We're
Nah,
we're
you guys-
pow-
that line of the
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
yeah
They
we
can say
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck they want.
But
It's
you
their
too.
word.
No, we're of that line of descent, like where my ancestry were fucking slaves as well. Motherfucker, you better not get mad at me.
Yeah.
Like
Fuck you.
saying you're a wetback or a spick or whatever. I could call a spick another spick. We're spicks. We know what the fucking deal is. You know what I'm
But
saying?
will you get offended if
let some white guy call you that
what
shit? and
if you get offended some white dude calls you a spick?
I mean, if I know him, probably not. If
No,
if
but,
some
I mean-
random motherfucker, I mean,
I wouldn't be offended because like they're saying it to be offensive, so I wouldn't be offended in general.
Just on purpose, you wouldn't get
You
offended.
get that? Yeah, on principle, I'd be like.
I just feel like
obviously,
words
doesn't-
are.
But what if they
bullshit
say
at the
it? What
end
if
of the
they
day,
like
yo?
it's like a white lady and she's saying it with venom? Like she means
if
that from
someone
the
is
gut.
Mad at me, I know they're mad at me, and that's why
Hug
they're
'em.
saying whatever they're
That's
saying.
what you're supposed to
But
do now, right?
When someone comes to you like in normal speech, and then all of a sudden breaks into racism, they don't test the water. They're just like, oh yeah, and then all the niggers over there. And you're like, that's when I get offended. I'm
That's
like,
like whoa,
You
you
I'll tell
should
you,
like where did you think that was comfortable to say that shit amongst
I was
me?
on a cruise ship one time, and I got sat at a table with a girl I went to high school with, Bahara.
Oh wow, I like
Middle
Bahar.
Eastern
I wanted
chick.
to fuck that.
She
girl.
was-
She's Iranian.
So
She was
bad.
Iranian.
Yeah.
You wanted a banger? I wanted a banger. You wanted a banger? I wanted a banger.
She's
for sure.
hairy, but
I'll shave
Fuck
it. That's
that.
what razors are for.
Anyway,
Bitch had
so
great
we got
titties
sat at
and
a
a
table.
good
She was
face.
with some white boyfriend from the Key West or whatever, and we ended up hanging out.
And she said that what? There's
or
a lot
whatever,
of black
and,
people.
like, they're like, at 2:00 the pool gets real dark, and like the dude started saying a bunch of weird shit. And I'm like, I'm really dark. Like you guys don't even know.
Like this shit's not.
like,
Where do
you
you
didn't
where do you
even-
think it was
They
cool?
didn't
Like
test it. Like we were like, what the fuck? This is weird, yo. And then we ended up like having to hang out with them a couple more times.
And then it was weird.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, man. Like,
nah, you know what? I can speak on that because that happened to me too. That happened. I forgot where I was.
just when it just tested.
I don't know. No, I was working in I think Macy's.
Put
I was
the
working
toe
in
in.
Macy's, and the dude.
Oh, one of the dudes.
They're
like,
one of the dudes.
military?
He was a Cuban dude, mad fucking racist, and I was like, he said some shit like, "Oh, look at this lady looking like a fucking gorilla," and like Nano was just like, "Oh shit," and then I looked over the thing like, damn, this nigga thought he was comfortable enough to say that shit, say that shit around me. Like I was like, damn. And then from that point on, I could never.
Was that the guy who killed himself?
No. It was another dude. That dude, I could never be cool with him, and I was like, yeah, because I might punch him in the fucking mouth.
And it wasn't even like ha ha he he, like we're all joking around. And
No,
you're
but
calling her
he was. He was joking around, but you could tell. You could tell, like he was that shit. It was, it was the venom was there. Like it wasn't.
Bro, I'm not like I like having fun with groups or friends or whatever.
I don't give a
fuck.
fuck.
I'll go over the top with shit. But I'm not dropping ERs on people, I mean, it's just there's
hard R's.
No hard R's. It has to be an
ERs.
Has to be an
ERs,
H at the end.
Unless you're watching the show, there's no reason for ERs. Stick with the AH. It's cool. You might get away with a couple. You still might get fucked up if you're white as fuck. They still might deck your ass. It is what it is.
And then one of my white friends is asking me, like, would you be offended if I called you a nigga? I'd be like, in what aspect? You calling me a nigga? Like we homeboys? I don't give a fuck. That's cool as shit.
But if you're trying to,
but if you're
put
saying
me down
it
as an ignorant person,
yeah, like
then,
it would have happened. Like I don't know.
Because I mean, can we come to an agreement here that pretty much every nationality has their ERs? Like Cubans have a fucking N-word, and everybody does. Like a super ignorant, just like almost
Like
that
a racial
person-
epithet.
Like the person that makes you like not offended but embarrassed that
There's
you that you
Spanish
share
people
the
and there's
race with them,
spics.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you're saying, like there's always
Like a super bougie ass ghetto black dude or fucking
guy who's wearing
like a super fucking wasasa right off the fucking boat rafter, or I mean there's plenty of examples.
There's
but
refy ass people. Look, ignorance is ignorance, and
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
what it is.
And
That's
every
what it is.
person has an ignorant
And
faction.
ignorant doesn't placate to race or color. It's just an ignorant human being, and that's the way it goes. Yo.
Amen. So I guess next thing, thanks Riley Cooper for laughs, because that shit was solid radio right there, brother. I mean, I'm afraid to do it again because we might keep talking about this shit for 10 minutes. But so the Pro Bowl format was